Get scared. We're really starting to, I think, settle into that pretty nicely.
I'm scared already.
Steven, can you tell people, welcome to Get Scared.
That's right.
This is our weekly spooky treehouse pal around show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If you're in the States, good morning.
Top of the morning too. If you're in,
I think it's afternoon for them.
Wouldn't it be the nighttime?
Or night.
For who? In the UK, if that was the voice you were trying to do.
It's a podcast, you know?
Yeah, you can listen whenever you want.
Yeah, you can press play whenever you want.
That's the Are You Scared guarantee. You can, Are You Scared?
Oh my God, dude.
It's like talking about your ex to your new girlfriend.
Yeah, but the ex still lives in the house with you.
That's the Get Scared
and
guarantee.
You love her.
We do love Are You Scared.
We love Are You Scared. We had a lot of fun. We shot 2 episodes of that are coming out a bit later that were really delightful.
Oh, that's right.
Really good.
Very, very excited. If you haven't seen it, we had a 2-parter on YouTube as well. That was really fun. Or Are You Scared?
We have some quick news to get to, but we're going to be having some fun today.
That's Shane.
I'm Shane.
I'm Ryan.
That's Ryan.
That's Steven.
And over there on the 1s and 2s, we got Maddie Real.
Damn it. I'm over there.
You're over there now.
Just today.
Okay. We're going to be having some fun, some real life scares this week.
Huh?
A danger that you may not pay any mind to.
But
after listening to this episode, hopefully you'll be prepared.
Prepared, but not. Well, we're going to get scared and then we're going to be prepared.
This is like a real scare.
Get scared, but be prepared.
Okay.
T-shirt.
That's good.
Actually, this would be a good time for me to address the room.
What?
Okay.
That was extremely like. Actually,
hi, teacher.
What do you got? What is it?
What is it?
I saw a comment that was like,
Uh-oh.
Ryan and Shane are bullying Steven.
Mm-hmm.
They're making him watch all this stuff, which is true.
We do bully.
We do all bully me.
Why'd you say we?
I bully myself all the time.
True. Okay.
I'm doing it right now. But I do want to say,
the comment. This was the comment here.
Yeah. Okay. You have the comment. Can you read it?
Yeah.
For us?
It's from Jamberlane. I'm going to stand up for Steven here. Yes, viewers enjoy watching you guys in stressful situations, but the difference is that Ryan chooses to do Ghost Files.
That's right. I do that.
It's his show idea. Steven is sitting there disassociating as you were talking about the horror movie, and it just made me feel bad for him. I don't think I could watch a show just of you guys torturing him.
By the way, that's my move. My move is to make you feel bad for me. That's how I survive in life. That's why I freeze in stressful situations. Anyway, so I want to clear the air here.
Clear it.
I'm excited to be here. I want to be here. In fact, I was part of the team that decided to make that episode.
That's right.
And I agreed to it. But as you all probably know, this whole thing about fear, it's the line of excitement and dread.
Titillation
and disassociation. Oh, what are you saying?
I've had too much coffee.
Okay, me too.
He was doing was that a Bonesaw impression?
Papa Roach.
Oh, it sounded like Bones. It sounded a little Bonesaw.
Do they say titillation in the Papa Roach?
No, he goes
titillation.
Titillation.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and screaming.
Is that
don't give a fuck?
Is that the paper cuts?
If you don't watch our streaming,
that's good.
Is that the what?
Was that
That's Cut My Life into Pieces?
Yeah.
Wake up! Is that song right?
That's Chop Suey.
That's Chop Suey. That's right. That's System of a Down.
Like Glendale's own.
I may have mentioned this on the pod before, but in like 7th grade, one of my friends was like, "Do you want to go see Papa Roach?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then the day of the concert, I was like, "I don't think I want to go to this."
Yeah, I can imagine.
I just paid him for the tickets.
That the clientele there
was Papa Roach and POD on a double bill.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. All right, but sorry.
Okay, Steven,
Well, I've interrupted you twice.
No, it's okay.
You personally apologize. No.
It's fine. Hey, all I want to say is I fully consent to being here. I want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you
give it to me good.
Can you? What the fuck?
You do throw yourself at these situations. Like when we were in London and you were kind of excited to go into the basement of the Viaduct Tavern.
Yes, I was.
Can you deliver that again, Steven? But this time do it like you don't have a gun pointed at you. And Matt, can you put the gun down?
No, but so just if you feel bad for me as I disassociate or, as I'm freaking out here, don't worry. you can fully enjoy the stress I go through.
And shout out to what was the username at Gem
Either G Amberlane or
I do appreciate it.
being the watchdog out there.
Yeah.
And every now and then Shane and I need a little spanking, and thanks for spanking us.
Yeah, we like a little torture of our own.
It felt really good. Every now and then I do need a little spanking.
A little paddling.
A little paddling on my hiney.
Really make him regret ever saying anything.
Anyway.
Little bang on my bum.
Okay, so we got that out of the way. I'll say on today's episode, we're going to be talking to Eric from Everything Led. Everything Led is a channel, and I think he has a TikTok presence as well.
Yes.
And he is an expert when it comes to lead.
Yes.
Because we had this question when it came to the clown plates,
We
right?
got the clown plates, and I was holding them in my hands,
Yeah.
bare hands.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, these for sure have lead on them.
Yeah.
These are absolutely painted with lead.
What were the telltale signs that made you come to that conclusion?
There was a thing on the back that said 1986.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's
and
a good
a lot
one.
of those like really articulate, really brightly colored plates and kind of dishes, oftentimes. And it stuck in my mind because on Eric's account, he's going up to things that look exactly like this
I see.
and spraying it with the
Like a lead detector?
the solution, yeah,
Yeah.
and then shining a UV light on it, and then going, yeah, that's lead, and it's everywhere. And I was literally like, I don't know what to do about this. I don't know if I'm allowed to touch this. You know
how dangerous it is.
Yeah, exactly.
There's certainly I know in the past Sarah has like seen there on eBay you'll see like Muppet glasses from the 80s
Yes,
that have
those-
like painted, and she
Yeah.
was like, I really want one of these, but I'm pretty sure you can't drink out of them because I don't even know if it's good to have them in your home. I'm not sure.
Is it airborne? Is there preventative measures that could
These
be
are
taken?
questions for Eric.
This
Okay.
is fun.
Wow.
And I know
Yes.
this is sort of a different angle for something
Silent
spooky,
killer.
but I think it's fun to bring in an expert and talk. So this go on the journey with us. It's going to be fun, I think.
Yeah, and I thought Steven's got a kid on the way, and this is
do.
something that Eric talks about a lot. Is he believes that kids should not be on the front line of lead detection, which
Yeah.
they often are.
And they often were, which is why
Yeah.
a lot of our elderly are not doing so great.
I like how you put that.
Stephen, how many months
have
do
a
we have
tenuous
to?
relationship with reality?
How many months do we have to wait for your kid to
What a way to say that.
watch scary movies with us?
Oh, okay. I see.
6,
No, what? No.
7 months, 8 months.
We show Steven's toddler Hereditary.
I think once your kid reaches 1 year old, we could show him
No.
Exorcist.
Hey, some quick other announcements before we get to the. I've got some exciting news before we get to.
Ooh.
This week on Watcher TV, the finale of Ghost Files.
That's right.
Whoa.
The season finale of Ghost Files.
It's part 2 of a 2-parter, so you're familiar with the location if you've been following along on Watcher TV. It's a pretty fun app.
And this is, I think, the most beautiful house we've ever ghost hunted.
This place is insane.
Stunning.
Very good.
And this week on YouTube, episode 2 of Ghost Files, in which we visit the Clayton house.
And if you've already watched it on Watcher TV, you'll know that bad boy is packed with some evidence. It's a fun time.
And some glass candies.
And we got a Class A EVP in that episode. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but we got a really good
Whoa,
one.
a little bit.
Wow!
No, Shane's just eyes rolled back a little bit.
That's fine. So that's what's coming out, and it's very exciting. I have some reports about some bugs. I realize I had a lot of bugs. In the past, I've talked about my roaches.
Papa?
Not Papa, but I guess
Papa
it is a
roaches?
roach-heavy week.
But you love bugs, but not roaches. Is that, am I caught up?
I do love bugs. You're right. I love bugs. I don't love roaches. But I have gotten to a place with roaches where they don't make my adrenaline kick up as much as they used to.
Oh, they're becoming your friends.
They're not my friends. I do kill them if I see them.
I was about to say they're friends like that bee was your friend.
You don't have to talk about the bee. That bee was, I think that was a crazy bee.
Did that show up in the epised?
I think
Did we
it
have
did.
that scene?
I think it did.
We let that in there?
In Too Many
It's an
Spirits.
episode of Too Many Spirits where I was filming it. But the bee,
You really crushed it for a while.
the bee flew onto my neck in between my shirt collar.
And then you stomped on it with your foot once, and then about
I
10
stomped
other
on it a
times
few
after.
times. Look, I've saved bees from pools. Okay?
Well, you sure didn't save that one. Unless you consider taking it off Earth, saving it.
Okay, I've got 5 items on the bug report.
Okay.
5.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in my house right now,
Okay.
in my home. Well, first up, roaches are back.
Okay.
They were gone for about a year.
Did they ever leave then, really?
I think they did because we had the roach people come and they had told, I'll tell you what, the roach people came again because I was like, let's nip it in the bud. It's going to be warm soon. And that's probably when roaches are really feeling themselves. And, you know, so we had the roach people come by. I was not there when they came back, you know, a year or two ago and they put some goo down somewhere or something.
Yeah.
But so this time I had a lot of questions for them. I said, so what's going on here? The roaches were gone for a year. And he said, here's a couple things he told me. One, he said, roaches are up all across the city.
Whoa.
Nice.
I said, really? Because we had not really had roaches in our apartment. We lived here for 5 years or so, not a single roach.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, year and a half ago, suddenly a roach. And he was like, that's
right.
That's when it started ticking up.
You put the word out there. We're back up.
And he said, I didn't know this either. He said, because I was like, I think they're coming in from under our dishwasher because it faces, you know, it's on an outside wall.
Nice.
And he said, no. He said, in an old building like this, they always come up through the sink, the kitchen sink.
Oh,
He said they can hold their breath for 40 minutes.
They can hold their breath for 40 minutes? That's
What the-
crazy.
And he said they come up through and I'm just saying what the roachman said.
I would never have guessed that roaches have like aquatic acumen.
They're like the xenomorphs in Alien Resurrection.
well, that's not
crazy.
scary.
That is scary. That is very scary.
Mhm.
That's one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So he said, yes, they come up through the sink. And he said like 100% of the time. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
That's nuts.
What about the toilet?
Now that would be so scary.
That stuff freaks me out.
Do you
I'm always
guys ever
checking the
have
toilet
fears
before I-
about like a spider
Yes.
in the toilet?
Or a
Yes.
rat?
Yeah. No. What? How would a rat go
I've
through?
heard of rats in toilets.
That reminds me, this is not part of the bug report, but I have one last item about a rat that I'm
Okay.
going to put on there. That's item 6. That's a bonus rat report.
He just wrote
We're on item.
RAT in all caps.
I wrote rat. We don't have rats in our home, but I do have a rat report.
And an actual rat, not like somebody who's like giving away your secrets.
No, not the
Ratata.
Wait, hang on. This is actually a perfect timing. for
What do you
this.
got?
I saw this on Reddit the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, this is from a year ago. It's our exterminator left this notebook at our house, and this was all he wrote down.
What does it say? I'm so excited to see this.
It's just a rat.
It's a drawing of a rat head.
That's
Four
so
whiskers.
Good. This is all he left.
It's a good drawing.
That's really good.
Yeah,
really
they were there.
depicts what's happening. Okay.
Okay, roaches are back. Agreed. Second item, flies.
Mm.
On our balcony, we have seen small hovering flies, bigger than a gnat, smaller than a housefly.
Yeah.
And they've been at certain times of the day, they'll just slowly hover around the balcony.
Yeah.
Not a big nuisance, but we did put new flowers out there recently. So I was like, maybe they're attracted to the flowers. I don't know. So I bought these fly traps. They're basically like little jars that are full of liquid.
Okay.
And they have little sort of holes that go into them.
Okay.
And it's similar to like a fish trap like they use on a loan. Flies go in, but they can't come out.
Gotcha.
They're not smart enough to figure out how these little tubes work. So they can easily get in because they're following the smell.
Yeah.
But then once they're in, they don't know how to get back out. So I put these up expecting to catch the small flies. And we're not catching the small flies. We're catching big flies.
Whoa.
And each one of them is now full of like 50 to 60 just not bloated, but they're just sitting in the liquid. They've all just died.
Okay.
And now like I'm trying to imagine the horror of a fly who's just like, smells good. What's going on in here? And then you get in and you just see dozens.
Are these jars
Oh.
They are.
so they don't see the pool of dead flies?
They're not smart enough.
But when they're in there, do you think they
No, that's the thing. A fly doesn't comprehend the horrors that they're witnessing. They're just like, it smells sweet. I can't leave. What's going on? And
What-
eventually they get tired and just fall into the pit.
What scent would you recommend people use to trap you? that would get you to walk
Well, it's
into any room.
popcorn, brother. Movie theater
That's what I
popcorn.
figured.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookies also a strong contender.
Bread.
Bread.
Fresh bread.
Oh, yeah.
Bread.
That's how you trap Stephen Lim.
Okay, so obviously we put out these fly traps for the little flies and they simply aren't going to it. So I was like, now what is going on with these little flies?
Okay.
And as I was inspecting the balcony over on our kitchen window, I saw a very curious structure, which I learned it was a sort of a horizontal tube. So it turns out that is a mud dauber nest. And mud daubers are sort of wasp-like, but they're those wasps that have like the really thin abdomen.
Okay.
Matt, can you look up a mud dauber? And it turns out mud daubers, I looked it up, not that bad.
Okay.
They're not aggressive.
Putting a bug on screen.
They're not aggressive.
3, 2, 1.
They look scary.
Oh, they look very scary.
But they're those ones that have that really almost like a needle body, the big chunky abdomen. But yes, I looked it up. Turns out they're not that bad. They're actually pretty good for the environment and your flowers and pests and all that. I looked that up after I blasted it with a hose and destroyed it.
Oh, of course.
I see.
So that's gone. What's next on the agenda? Okay, so
But they built that nest with honey?
mud,
Mud?
mud, brother.
That's cool.
Okay, so we covered the roaches, we covered the big flies. Now back to the little flies, and we covered the mud dauber. Okay, so the hover flies. I looked it up. They're called hover flies.
Yeah.
They're like these little, they almost look like little bees. Because I was like, well, these little flies that we put these traps up for are not going to the traps at all. They're called hover flies.
Mm-hmm.
They eat aphids, and they're drawn to flowers. And they're also very beneficial for your garden, for pest control.
Gotcha.
And I noticed like when we go out on the balcony and we sit there, they shoo. They go away.
Does look like a bee.
It looks like a bee, but they're very small.
They
They're
got
just like
stripes
a
on
little
there.
bit bigger than a gnat, maybe like 2 or 3 times the size of a gnat. Smaller than a housefly.
Look at the size of those eyeballs. That covers up so much surface area of their body.
Big eyes.
Yeah. And I thought that, so they're really loving, we put out a Mexican poppy, and they're
Okay.
really loving that. But the other issue is, and this is my final point on my bug report.
My dad is
that-
a Mexican poppy, sorry.
Oh!
Hey.
It's stupid.
I like that a lot.
I mean,
It's pretty
so is
good.
Ryan's
I like that a
dad.
lot.
That's really good.
And the final note is that I thought that was all the bug news of the week. But then yesterday or 2 days ago, Sarah said, Shane, come out here. I came outside and our Mexican poppy, I guess these hoverflies are not doing the work because it was absolutely covered in aphids.
I don't
You
think I know
you
what
ever
an
seen
aphid
a
is.
plant covered in aphids?
I don't even know what an aphid is.
They're very tiny little. Here, I will show you. Another photo going up in 3, 2,
Weren't there
1.
aphids in bugs?
This
life?
one's particularly gross.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Tiny.
They're tiny?
So these houseflies or hoverflies eat these guys?
They're meant to,
Yeah.
I see.
but they're not doing the work. So I got some peppermint soap and I combined it in a spray bottle and I sprayed the plant down, and I think it's supposed to kill them all, but we'll see.
Isn't it fun to have little problems in your life?
Well, it's so fascinating because like I love paying attention to all these little things that are going on. Like the mud dauber building that thing on the window. That's a window we sit by, every morning when we're drinking our coffee. It's right by our little kitchen table. I had no idea a little mud dauber was out there building a little house for itself. He couldn't have known that I would come by with a hose and spray it off there and destroy everything he worked for. Meanwhile, I'm focusing on all these other flies, and all the aphids are going to town on my Mexican poppy.
I see.
There's so much going on.
You don't.
There is.
Is this wonderful?
It sounds wonderful for the Mexican poppy.
Golly.
Is going to town just for you a sexual term?
Oh no, it can be.
I think they actually like suck the moisture out of it and kill it. Oh, well. And the bonus rat thing. The other day, Sarah and I were over at the Silver Lake Reservoir walking around the
Nice.
meadow, and she just suddenly went, oh, and I was like, what is it? And she said, look where we just walked, and there was a half-eaten rat. Chomped
Which
in
part?
half.
Which part?
Looked like a coyote at the
see
back half. The ass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sarah's like a critter alarm. She's the one who's noticing all this stuff. If it wasn't for her, how much of this stuff would you be noticing?
Critters all around for those with eyes to see them.
We got to do our bug show.
I was gonna actually message you about that yesterday. Be
Yeah.
like, should we get moving on some
I
bug
want
talk?
to do the bug show.
Go ahead.
Our
and do
own
it.
FYA.
Now I'll finally understand what you guys feel about FYM.
And, Ryan has
bugs
to
are our
produce.
friends.
Brian must produce the first 30 episodes.
Not gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
All right, we'll talk about it. Anyway, thank you for joining me for my bug report. You guys have any bug reports?
Wonderful.
No bugs to report?
No bugs for me.
Matt, any bug news?
No, I haven't seen any good bugs. The other day, someone shared, look at this bug. And I was like, damn, I haven't seen a bug in a while. And I got like bummed out.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't seen a good bug in it.
I saw a really good grasshopper at the when I was buying the plants that I put out on my balcony. Beautiful.
You know what? I saw a spider last week.
Tell me more.
And I was like, immediately, thanks to this podcast and thanks to you boys, I was like, oh, let me identify the bug first before I get scared.
What, do you have like an app or anything that you can use?
No, I looked for the violin.
Oh, sure.
And I was like, no violin.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, looks like and then what was the other one that's dangerous?
It's not brown, wasn't it?
It wasn't
Black Widow,
brown.
Brown Widow.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, that's, probably harmless. Yeah.
I spiders is my last bit I'll say about bugs today. Spiders are educate yourself about spiders, because some spiders that look scary are not at all. Let's move on, because we've got some exciting stuff going on here.
We do.
We've got a special guest today, as we teased. So let's move on to that. Eric is who we're talking to today from Everything Lead.
We're gonna get Eric on the phone. We're gonna test our clown plates. Let's and you all have brought some stuff in here.
Yes.
Did you bring some, Steve?
Yes. Many objects of interest.
I only brought one, but
I brought up
items.
straight up lead, by the way.
Oh,
Like a lead pencil?
It's lead.
Let's graphite.
It's lead for no. Like literally a block of lead.
What?
why'd you do that?
You're gonna kill us all.
Because it's what people use
No,
for
what-
the pickleball paddles.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, why do you? What does that do for the
It
paddles?
weights it.
It helps create a bigger sweet spot on the paddle.
Ooh.
Sweet
It
spot.
helps you with more
Did you say
control.
sweep spot or sweet spot?
Sweet spot. Sweet
It
treat.
helps make a bigger sweet spot. I guess you'll have to take
Yeah.
it out and show it. to me.
Well, so yeah, I'll show it to you.
What do you all have?
let me.
Get our clown
I'll
plates
get it out.
ready.
Should
We'll
we
get
get them
our.
out? We can set them on the table.
That'd be great.
Okay.
So I'll toss this to one of you. This is the what do you call it? The device / solution. This is,
tests
we
for
paid
lead?
for this. We
Okay.
did not. This is not a sponsorship.
This is not a sponsor.
We got this.
We're just fascinated by it.
We're just interested. Yeah.
You toss
Ryan,
it.
I'm gonna toss it to Ryan. He's got the biggest.
No,
one.
I'll catch it.
Well, no, I'm worried about the light.
I'll catch.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh, you son
Oh, simultaneous catch.
You sort of caught it, and I just grabbed your hand.
What is
There you
this?
Stripped pass.
Lead test. Oh, here we go.
It's a lead test. Don't open it.
Don't
just
do it yet.
Don't
Why-
open it just
okay.
yet.
I
Ryan,
want to open it. You can't just throw me a package. Can't throw me a
have you seen that TikTok that's like following instructions as an ADHD person? It's like you're like reading the instructions, and it's like, now you see the scissors on your right and the paper on your left, and you start cutting it, and it's
Oh.
like, don't touch the scissors or the paper.
Oh yeah, dude. I that's exactly me. Like, you're just sitting there like, oh shit. Close your eyes and imagine what you'll look like 6 months from now. Unless you're driving, don't do that. Just do it when your eyes are open. Now, how does your hair look? Does it look the same? Now picture how your hair would look if you started using Hims. If you're picturing the same as you before, but much thicker and fuller with hair, you'd be correct. Hims provides you with convenient access to a range of hair loss treatments that work all from the comfort of your couch. Hims makes treating hair loss simple with doctor-trusted options and clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. Choose from personalized, chewable, oral, spray, and serum treatments to find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online, so there are no uncomfortable doctor visits. Answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, and they can help you get your confidence back too with visibly thicker and fuller hair. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/watcher. That's hims.com/watcher for your personalized hair loss treatment options. hims.com/watcher. prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Did you get all that?
Okay, we've got Eric on the line, and now we're going to be talking with Eric from Everything Lead. All right, Eric, thank you so much for joining here. We're joining us here. We're joined by Eric from Everything Lead. How are you today?
Thanks for having me on. I'm great. Bad
So-
day to be led, though.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so good, dude.
So we actually have a ton of questions about the dangers of lead in general. So we were led to this place because led to this place.
Nice.
We recently acquired some clown plates, and we're not entirely sure if they're extremely dangerous or, you know, if they do contain lead. And we've got Steven over here, who is a soon-to-be father.
Papa.
Papa.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, I haven't said that yet. Congratulations.
He's never said that to me. Yeah, my friends
I
don't
said
say
it.
anything about this.
But and I know, Eric, you've mentioned that children are often, you know, sort of the front line when it comes to lead and its harmful effects. So we thought
sad.
it would be interesting to have you on and talk with you about, one, sort of the history and dangers of lead, and two, like what people got to be looking out for. And we've also brought in some of our own lead we're not sure. We're not sure.
Potentially lead.
We're not sure if
objects.
these things contain lead, but I've got, you know, a clock here, and we've got various items that we want to maybe inspect and see if there's any lead on them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lots to do.
So I guess first things first, do you guys have any questions about sort of, because lead nowadays, it's not, people have sort of gotten hip to it. It's not as big of a concern in terms of like newer things, or is it? Am I way off on that?
You're somewhere in between.
Okay.
Way off and on the money. And that's like, you know, life. People are hip to it, for sure.
Yeah.
More so than in the past.
Hmm.
In the past, everybody had lead poisoning. There was lead in the gasoline. There was lead in all interior house paint. And it was so widespread that it couldn't even be fathomed that everybody would be affected like so negatively.
Yeah.
If you were born in like the 70s, you certainly were born with childhood lead poisoning and you had it for most of your life.
There's a lot of children's
Regular
toys
kid-
had lead in them as well, right?
In the 70s?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
50s, 60s,
For sure.
70s. Yeah.
It's crazy too, because like they all lost IQ points. You know, there's an increase in every negative personality trait you can think of. So if you see somebody, you know, in a boomer or a little bit younger than them on the road, and you're like, why is this person driving bad and being a jerk?
Why do they have no empathy?
Yes, yeah. You're going to lose conscientiousness. You're going to
Oh.
increase neuroticism. You're going to decrease IQ, increase impulsivity.
What?
There's one more that I always forget, but I mean, I was exposed to. I was born in '92, so my parents had lead in their blood. Women, when they're pregnant, there's a transient increase in blood lead because of the kind of like need for calcium. So you get a little bit of osteopenia. That's a letdown of calcium from the bones. It goes into the blood. Lead acts like calcium, so it goes along with it into the blood and into the baby
Nice.
where
Oh
it
my
does its work.
This is already off to such a horrifying start. So when it
Yeah,
was
and- yeah.
so prevalent in society, is that something where the effects of it are now, like we're still seeing it, like you said, in older generations are just sort of rife with it?
Yes, and luckily for us, they are in control of most things.
Yeah,
right?
isn't that cool?
This is the same thing that happened in the Roman times. You know,
Yeah.
the Roman elite were the most lead poisoned because they had access to the most like leaded wine, basically.
Right.
And what happened to the Romans? They made some really horrible decisions, short-sighted, and then it caught up to them. So I'm a little bit worried for the future of humanity based on the
are you?
widespread-
Jeez, I didn't know it was that bad.
This turns out to be the
And
scariest.
who would?
episode.
Because like, like, you know, there's news articles that come out that say, oh, you know, there was 500 million IQ points lost globally or in the U.S., you know, from lead in the gas. But then, like, so what? Like, you go and tell somebody lost IQ points about this, they're not going to want to hear it.
Right.
Oh boy. Our country
And
does
what do you
not
do
have
about
many
it?
to spare either.
The one saving grace for all those people was the fact that their parents didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Because now when a kid gets lead poisoning, they get tested by a doctor, which the tests that determine lead in blood didn't even exist back then anyway. This spectrometry equipment sucked. But now the kid's parents find out. Now the parents like, oh, my lead poisoned child. Oh, I let this happen. And it's like a whole nightmare scenario. Not
But-
to mention like the potential costs and all the other stuff.
So if you're, like you said, if you find out you're a parent, you find out your child has been poisoned with lead. Is that a thing where, let's say it happens once? Is it a thing that's more long-term, or is it like, oh, I've got a very intense exposure to it and that's going to affect me for my entire life? Or is it more of a situation where like, it's like does it dissipate over time, or does it just ruin you?
They never really did any research on that. Like, does it, because the idea is that there's a half-life of lead in the blood, there's a half-life of lead in the bones, and there's a half-life of lead in the brain.
Sure.
And so the blood half-life is like 3 months.
Okay.
So after 5 half-lives, you've gotten it all out of your blood. That assumes that you're not continuously being exposed, and I'll get to that in a second. The half-life in the brain is like 2 years.
Oh, damn.
So if you have a kid and they get lead poisoning, it's going to be pretty long game.
Holy shit.
In the brain. And then in the bones, the half-life is like 25 years. So 95% of all lead that goes into your body stays in the bones.
In the
permanently.
bones.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Not the worst thing, though. Not the worst thing.
Yeah.
If you have, because the bones are like a closet. Like if you have a messy room, you shove everything in the closet and you're good. Eventually, it's going to be packed and it's going to spill back out. And even if you cut off the source, there's still going to be crap falling out of your closet. So this is more for people, though, who like work in like a lead-heavy job or have been super exposed for a really long time. But if your kid gets lead exposure, you basically can just look at the math, and if they have a blood lead level over 2.2, they probably lost like 5 IQ points.
What?
The good news is that
Nice.
if we have like 100 and 110 on average IQ points.
Okay.
But the effects of lead on the brain IQ are logarithmic, meaning it's not a straight line down. So if you get more poisoned, you lose even more.
Right.
Then you're like dog level IQ and like by 20.
I'm gonna start working dog level IQ into my everyday conversations.
It goes down sharp. First 5 micrograms per deciliter of blood lead, and the reference level right now is 3.5. That's the most poisoned 2.5 kids in society have a blood lead over 3.5. And that's not the first time you're going to hear some really complicated numbers, because the lead science interplay with regulation and how that translates to public health policy is really science heavy and not easy to understand. So you want to avoid it, basically.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
I and we'll get to more questions in a second. I just want to say I'm expecting a child in a month, and I just bought lead weights like
to
a week ago
to put on Tammy's belly
to improve my pickleball game by 1%.
I hope it was worth the 5 IQ points, dude.
We'll find out about that.
Fuck!
I mean, it sounds like you have 100 HP to work with.
I'd like to know more about the specifics of exposure, but before we get into that, Eric, I'm curious how you got interested in this in the first place. Because like you said, I mean, you were born in the 90s, so you've certainly obviously had experiences with it in your youth, but like a lot of us, you were probably oblivious to it. But being a younger generation, how did you sort of take an interest in this?
Well, it's pretty straightforward. Since I was born in the 90s, I graduated high school in 2010, and that means that I was addicted to opiates.
Okay.
And so I had this experience when I was graduating high school of like being addicted to opiates. I'm like watching the people die, and I'm like, this is really insane. I got to follow the directions here. Like, I can't just do whatever. And so luckily I quit that in 2012. But in 2018, I wound up making a drug test kit that relied on chemicals. So you could put it, take your drugs, you put a little bit on a table or whatever on a plate, squeeze these chemicals on there. They're going to change color and tell you what you have in front of you. So you can say, oh, I thought I was taking Molly. I got meth.
Okay.
So I'm not going to take that.
Yeah.
And so I sold that for like 6 months, and then Amazon's like, this is illegal. You can't even sell this. But at this point I was hooked. I'm like, I get hooked easily.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm like making money on this. This is awesome. The product was innovative. The reagents were in 2 different parts. So you mix them together. So it lasted for a really long time. I was getting a great value. So I'm like, what else can I sell? So I just like rifle through my brain. I'm like, what niche things do I know about? Freaking lead tests. I started making lead tests because I'm like, wow, 3M is selling 1 test for $5. I'm going to make mine 10 times cheaper, and I'm still going to 10x my money on this.
Yeah. So it was a business venture, but it is sort of humanitarian, right? I mean, it seems like you're doing it's a good service. You sort of stumbled into being a humanitarian.
Well, and nobody gets there, in a straight line. So this is in 2019 when I started doing this. I found out about this glowing lead test. I'm like, this is a total game changer. You can identify lead-based paint dust particles, single particles of dust. You can, instead of having one swab per test, now you can store it in a bottle. So there could be thousands of tests per kit.
Yeah.
The people who wanted to sell this were from the Netherlands. They tried to patent it. I was like, is this even a legit patent? You guys are idiots. And so they don't like me anymore. But so I sold their product for like a hot minute. Yeah. And I sell my own.
So you can't travel to the Netherlands. Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna go there, but like you got to go into the Alps territory, and like because I don't even know what's wrong with these guys. Like you'll never see them anywhere. They're probably ashamed of what they did because I was like, listen, you guys had 2 years. You could have been releasing this and helping people with it, but all you try to do is patent it for yourselves. Like, are you guys insane?
Yeah. So lead exposure. I honestly don't have a framework or a context for what the danger is in terms of like, is it something where like you touch something or you drink out of a glass and that is horrifically bad for you, or is it more prolonged?
Is it airborne?
Is it airborne? Are there situations where you could be exposed to it in, a concentrated amount where it would be so dangerous to you, even just minimally? Or is it more a prolonged situation?
It's so situationally dependent. So if you're sanding your wall of lead-based paint, you're getting extremely exposed.
I see.
Similarly, if you're eating off of a lead dish that glows, like those clown plates have lead on them, and you're eating, spaghetti off of it, you're going to get so much lead from that.
I eat spaghetti off my clown plates every night.
He loves spaghetti and he loves his clown plates.
The more spaghetti I eat, the more clowns I see, and that brings a smile to my face. No, I don't do that.
There's like, there's so many different vectors for exposure. Anything that you're ingesting is going to really be a lot worse, because like you could have like a dish that has 1,000 parts per million lead in it, and it's totally safe. That means that for every atom of lead, there's 1,000 atoms of ceramic. Mm-hmm. So like, how are you going to access the lead? The dish isn't going to degrade when you use it.
Yeah.
But if you eat something with 1,000 parts per million lead, you're going to die because you're actually eating the whole thing, and the whole thing's getting digested. So lead is measured in like bulk materials like soil, paint, ceramics in parts per million, and it's measured in parts per billion in food. And every gram of something you eat with 1 part per billion is going to give you 1 nanogram of lead. And if you are an adult, you don't want to consume more than 7,700 nanograms or 7.7 micrograms a day. And if you're a child, you don't want to consume more than 2.5 micrograms a day or 2,500 nanograms a day. So, if you live in a house and there's 150 pounds of lead-based paint in the house, that's like 1 billion micrograms. Like you could be seriously exposed if you start ripping the walls off, or if you have a friction or impact surface that gets degraded, like a window that's moving, it's going to make lead dust. Lead is only dangerous. It's not an infectious disease. If you get it on your hands, it's not going to like get you. But if you are eating food and you don't know that you have lead-based paint dust all over you, or you just cleaned your gun and you have lead residue everywhere. Yeah, don't grab a Zin and shove it in your mouth when you're cleaning your gun. Okay. Like,
good to know.
Or your pickleball paddle. Put some tape over that. Like but if your kid picks it up and puts it in their mouth, like they're gonna get seriously dosed with that.
And that's what I'm curious about. Actually, you brought that up. I did put electrical tape over the lead, which is what they recommend that you do. Am I good?
Until it comes off, yeah, you're great.
Why does it have to be lead weights? Couldn't you just put washers on it?
You could. Something? I mean, people use tungsten tape, which I will know.
Yeah, washers. Yeah, you're going to look really cool at the pickleball.
He doesn't look. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't want to make you look uncool on the pickleball.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoa!
That would be the thing that would be the thing that tips it over the edge, right?
All the strays. But by the way, pickleball is helping your mother-in-law stay active. Okay, so
yeah, my mother-in-law is great at
that's
pickleball.
Helping your argument the way you think it is.
Yeah, it's not the definition of cool.
A big shout out to Marla Rubin. A big shout out. She listens to the pod.
Yeah. Okay, but
she probably looks cooler than you out there on the court.
I mean, 1,000%. So I will be trashing this right after this call. It's because it's the cheapest weight you can, like a metal weight you can buy.
But it comes at a higher cost.
Yes. IQ points.
Yeah, on the low.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to spending, sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind. That daily coffee habit Shane going to Lazy Acres. All those costs, they add up fast without you even noticing. Rocket Money helps you spot those patterns so you can do something about them and keep more money in your pocket. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. You can see all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them. And of course, subscribers will send an email if a price increases, but my inbox is a mess. Rocket Money sends you alerts if bills increase in price, or if there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. And the new goals feature automatically saves money for you so you don't have to think about it. Help pay off bills, put away money for a house, or just build your savings. Rocket Money makes it all easy. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service so you don't have to. That's pretty neat. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/watcher today. That's rocketmoney.com/watcher. rocketmoney.com/watcher.
Eric, we can spray that, right? So we have a bit of Florispec. We have the spray, I think. Ryan's got it. And I just, again, we've said this ahead of time that we bought this one. This is not an ad. We're not sponsored by
just fascinated
Florispec or Detect Lead.
I'm not that savvy anyway.
We're just
I
interested.
can make the stuff. I'm not good at selling it. I'm only good at selling it when there's an audience. But lead is soft, so it's easy to kind of like, get to hug the curve of your paddle. Wherever you put it on the paddle, there's different places to really optimize your swing pattern. And so that's why it's cheap, it's heavy, and it's soft. Lead is like the best metal. If we didn't have nervous systems, it would be everywhere. If you have a lead roof, you're never replacing your roof. Lead pipes are never gonna go bad. So easy to bend, so easy to melt.
If going back to what you were saying about if your parents had the lead poisoning because of all the exposure to the toys and whatnot through the 70s, and then they have babies in the early 90s, which is when I was born. If they're starting at 100% lead poisoning, how much percentage?
I think they're dead then. Right?
Well, I'm just saying, like, just for the sake of argument, so I could have a better understanding, if like how much percentage of that would transfer over to me just via the blood?
Probably 50 to 75% of their blood lead will transfer to the child.
Oh shit!
It's it's pretty serious because think about it. You're a tiny baby. You're surrounded.
He was
by
a
leaded
tiny
parent.
Along those lines, I did two quick questions. One, talking about the food. You had said maybe there's paint or a window in the house. Is that generally how it gets in food, or are there dangers with food nowadays where it's like there is contamination that we don't know about or need to be on the lookout for?
I mean, all the food has some lead. Just all the soil, the whole planet. It wasn't just the toys and the paint in the 70s, and the cans. All cans had lead solder in them. It was psycho.
Nice.
But it was
nuts.
The lead in the gasoline. That was the most egregious thing that ever happened to humanity ever.
Yeah,
easily is the fact that they put 2 grams of lead in every gallon of gas, and there was like hundreds of thousands of gallons of gas burned every day for decades.
Right.
And it coated the whole planet. And it poisoned everybody severely who was on the planet at the time. And now all the soil has lead.
This is so.
That means the food
Why did they add
out.
lead to the gasoline?
Because it was great. I mean, it was like it was a great thing.
But what did it do for it exactly? Do you know?
Oh, so if you have raw gasoline and then you press it, it's going to get hot. Because imagine you have like this much air, and you compress it into a tiny spot. All the heat is going to get concentrated. So when you have a piston in the engine, it sprays in that fuel air mixture. The piston compresses it, and then the spark plug is supposed to ignite it. But if you compress it and it's kind of hot already, and there's just raw gas, it's just going to explode, and that's called engine knocking. So backfiring cars. If it's not going in the right timing, it's not going to work good. You can't have high compression ratios. You're not going to get a lot of power. So the cars in like the 20s sucked for this reason.
Yeah.
They could add ethanol, which comes from corn, but of course they didn't have like really good corn ethanol production. And that's what we use in car gas today. In the 20s and 30s, GM was the company that made the lead gas, and they were like, we got to find something that's not corn derived so we can like control it, and trying to patent something. So there was this guy, I forgot his name, but he invented the lead and gas. So he's like, okay, if we make the lead into tetraethyl lead and we stick it in the gasoline, we just need 2 grams per gallon, and it's not going to prematurely explode. It's only going to ignite when the spark plug turns on. And so it just worked, and it worked great. And then they immediately joined up with DuPont, the National Lead Corporation, and GM. They made the Ethyl Corporation.
That's crazy.
And then they just got it everywhere. And the people who would make this stuff were dying, because like making tetraethyl lead is not a chill thing. You got to take lead, alloy it with sodium metal, not a chill reaction at all, and then cook it with some organic compounds to make this tetraethyl lead, and then that will go through your skin. It will evaporate. It's going to give you lead poisoning. People were dying at the factory. Like 5 or 10 people died the first year. The rest of them were like hallucinating. They called it like loony gas. They would
Jokerfied.
They weren't doing good. Jump out the windows.
Jesus
it was crazy.
Christ.
And then but it was great though for the
it was great. Well,
the guy who made it, he's like, you know how much money we're gonna make? We're gonna make $300 million or more.
Yeah.
So
and
how much time do we have left then?
Well, it's better now than ever. I mean, past that.
Generationally, is it going to get to a point where each generation, I would think you see less and less.
It titrates.
Which maybe there's hope for the future if we don't.
In terms of lead exposure, there's certainly hope for the future. In terms of the tertiary, like bad results of everybody getting lead poisoning and having this IQ blunting.
Yeah.
Who knows, what kind of policies have been enacted. Yeah. The crime wave of the 90s, like that had something to do with, if you look at a chart in the peak of lead gas use, there's a 20-year offset.
And then it's
for peaks in violent crime.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
And today, like average childbearing age woman only has like less than 1 microgram per deciliter, and in the 70s it was 17.
Oh wow.
Wowza. Okay.
Yeah. So
Eric, this is something that I'm interested in. Because I've been following you for a while, and you could easily fearmonger quite a lot, and it doesn't feel like you. I mean, that would be good for business, I think, if you did. I'm not suggesting you to do that. I think you know that. And have made a choice at some point to not fearmonger. What is behind that of just trying to say like, okay, this is doable, or this is,
Yeah. All the conversations that I had with the previous customers, because I sold like 250,000 units of that swab I made in 2019. Mm-hmm. By this point, I've taken a bunch of customer service calls. I have asked the same question a bunch of times. Why'd you buy the swab? They said they bought it because their kid has lead poisoning and trying to find the source. Once I've started intimately connecting with parents of lead poisoned children and like learning exactly what happened and how their lives have gone to hell, I'm like, wow, all those other people on the phone weren't just like, oh yeah, blah, 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 like just trying to find the source. They're like, not sleeping at night.
It's life-altering stuff.
Yeah, it's life-altering. It can be for sure. And because the way it's framed now, when the physician calls or the CDC calls, they don't qualify it and say, everybody had lead poisoning in the 70s. They say, your kid has lead poisoning. This is the consequences. You need to clean up. You need to stop that renovation. And so once I'm like, wow, the solution is literally just spraying this liquid that I just cook up at my warehouse, shine the light on it and see where the lead is and then clean it. And now it's a total game changer. I found like, it's like the antidote to that like fear mongering, scary tactic. And like, it's fun to use. Like I try to promote just like casual recreational lead finding instead of like freaking out about lead. Because I really want to get in front of people before they need the test.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Just be cautious, basically. Like kind of keep an eye out for it.
Can we do it? I want to test it.
Yeah, we've all brought some items from our house that we use pretty regularly to test this to see how fucked we are.
Yeah, so Ryan, crack that open.
And do you drink out of that mug, Ryan?
I do. It's a mug that I made on Shutterfly, and I put all of my favorite things on it, and I like drinking out of it because I like looking at them. And it just occurred to me that might be.
So do we have? Is this the drip and the spray? I can't remember what we got there.
So we got, but yeah, it looks like we have 3 things here. Like a spray.
Yeah, so there's a drip,
stick.
a spray, and
I think
then
that's
a light.
The flashlight.
Oh, the light. Okay, I see.
To use it, unscrew the tip of the flashlight like this, and there'll be a little
there's a little tab,
like a little tab in there. You remove the tab, put the light back on.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then should be a card in there, like a little card like this, a business card.
Let
me see.
in the back.
Oh yeah, right here.
And so use the flashlight on it, and you'll see the color of lead will show up on the card.
Oh,
Whoa.
Is that card have lead on it, or is it just a
No.
test?
oh yeah.
Stuff that already glows does not have lead. The mineral that's formed when the liquid contacts lead and forms these tiny crystals is a synthetic mineral. So if you find glowing or fluorescent stuff,
It's this like
but it trains your eye to that.
greenish color. Let's
Great.
start with the mug.
Let's start with the mug.
Well, don't you have to spray something on it first?
This.
Yeah.
Which is
Okay,
like a
Ryan, make sure that you
facial-
do this on camera.
I
'Cause
did.
this is just a private thing for you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just-
Okay, I sprayed the mug.
show us before
Are you nervous?
do
Sprayed
it.
the mug.
Are you nervous, Ryan?
I'm a little nervous.
I am too.
Ryan, put it where the get scared mug is and spray and show it so that when you see it, the camera sees it as well.
You ever made a video before?
Yeah. This is a matter of life and death now. Okay, so I sprayed it.
Okay.
I think.
How long
it's
do you have to
pretty-
wait?
I think it's pretty instant, right?
It's pretty instant.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to wait. It looks. I'm not seeing.
You're
So we're
clear.
looking for sort of the greenish glow, right?
Looks clear to me.
Do we want to do a test on a
Yeah.
piece of lead just to make sure it works?
Let's try it.
Oh, like a control.
Like I have lead here. Can I take it out? I'm scared actually. I don't want to handle this anymore.
I'm so glad that my mug doesn't have lead on it. That's beautiful.
Yes.
That's a good start.
That's very good.
Okay.
Okay, let's
All
try
right.
it on yours then.
Yeah,
Well,
so
here-
spray your
here's the
pickleball
light.
thing.
Spray this
Yeah, I am-
lead or spray my paddle?
I'm
I
nervous
think
about
let's work up to
touching
the
these
So what, you
lead
brought like a
strips.
lead sinker there?
Yeah,
These are like
Those
lead
are the
weights.
lead weights.
3 grams of lead weights, like 10 of them.
Oh yeah, that's a package of the
And 3M
the
sells
paddle
them.
board.
Yeah.
So those are probably, Eric, going to light up like a Christmas tree.
Probably.
Why don't I just open this up? We spray it.
We'll spray it. We
just to
won't
see
even
what it
touch
looks
them.
like.
I will say we do have our green lights on, which is making it harder.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, those are lit.
Oh
Those are
yeah.
No good.
Tasty.
No good.
Yeah, are we seeing that?
If we ate that, we would die, right?
Hope the marginal improvement
Yeah.
to your swing was worth it, Steven.
Okay, now let's see if it is contaminating my paddle.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I do have electrical tape over the lead tape on the side of my paddle. Which, by the way, I gotta say, shout out to weights, not lead, because my game did improve
Shout out
significantly
to weights.
after I added these weights to my paddle.
Yeah, but then the
It was
amount
about 10% difference.
the IQ that you lost though from that
It
was that
worth,
worth
for
it?
me, worth it. Not for my
You
child,
just
but for
think
me.
that it's better now. You just think.
Yeah,
that it's
you
better.
just yeah, exactly. That ball was in.
Oh, I do have some bad outcalls, and that is something I'm working on. Okay,
I scored so many points. I can't count that high.
Steven,
All right,
you
you
never
ready?
left your house.
Looks.
Do you see this?
I'm Steven
face looks
sprayed his
clean.
paddle. We're looking at it. I don't see.
But
anything
what
on the
about
face. Let's
the
check the
side,
edge.
the edges?
No, that actually looks pretty
oh,
clean
it looks
as well.
clean
That's good.
Wait, I thought I was seeing a little green through the tape.
through the tape.
It's hard because we do have green lights, which is probably a bad idea. for
No,
this
I don't see
It
episode.
looks
anything.
relatively okay, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel. Oh no! Oh, there's lead right here.
Yep, that's where the end. So
that,
we're
right,
seeing
the edges.
Guess I don't really see.
We're
that.
No, it's
seeing
right-
lead right where
right-
the edge
Oh.
of the tape is, which
Oh,
is
like
probably
it's
where.
wearing
So
a bit on the
so it seems like the tape is actually covering it.
For the most part, there is a little bit of exposure, and I don't know if you can see that on camera actually at all, but there's a little bit of a sliver right there. I'm switching it out. I don't care. Well,
Eric, you had said some people can just fully die from lead poisoning. I
You
imagine
gotta
that's
really get poisoned to die.
Like if you swallowed one of those metal lead strips, like let's say your kid unfortunately got into that case and then like swallowed one, that's probably donezo, right?
I don't think that they would die, but I think they would be severely poisoned. But they'd probably already be poisoned to even be eating that. There's something called pica, which is a
where you-
disorder where you're
you eat
obsessed with
minerals.
eating non-food items,
yeah, rocks.
and it's caused by lead. So basically, your kid gets like addicted to trying to eat lead.
my dogs might have lead poisoning then, because they are eating.
They,
cushions
def-
left and
they
right.
definitely do. I've met those dogs.
Well, they got that dog level IQ off the bat.
Dog level
They just got
IQ.
that dog in them already, dude.
They don't have much to lose. Okay, so what else do we have here? You have your clock.
All right, now Eric, I have this clock from the USSR. I
Sweet.
think it was.
Oh.
It's probably from like the 60s, and it definitely looks like something that would have sort of the outside appears to be painted. I'm not sure, but we're gonna We're going to test it.
I'm going to guess yes.
I did a swab test on this ages ago, and I don't think when I bought it.
Also, you've been knowing about lead. I didn't even know any of this.
At
until
least
today.
with this in particular, because my wife Sarah, she also I'm saying that for Eric, so he knows.
Yeah.
She really wanted there's these Muppet glasses from the 80s that have painted Muppets on them, and you can find them on eBay. But I think generally you're not supposed to drink out of them because they'll they've got lead in them.
The outsides of lead, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've again been watching your stuff, Eric, for quite a while, and every time you go to a Home Goods or something that has painted on glass, it's always that's pretty. It's pretty surely got
bad.
some lead on it.
Yeah, you tend to if you know, you can kind of know. Do you really need a test kit once you really know about it? But the way you would find out is either by just watching my videos and then just assuming stuff is lead or just testing it.
Yeah, and I encourage people to check out your Instagram and your TikTok. Are they both everything lead? Is that the
Eric Everything Lead?
Eric Everything Lead?
Everything Lead.
But you go to stores and just try the test out on various things, and you would be surprised. Okay, let's check out my Soviet clock here. I'm very curious. I've sprayed it. No,
Nice, that's good.
no.
Not even on the bell.
I wonder if the paint inside.
That's
is
what
lead.
I do wonder about.
but that's
that.
behind a casing, so you should be okay, right? This is
Okay.
very terrifying. I didn't know about any of this until today, so now I'm going to have a whole new anxiety to worry about. This is
Same.
great.
Checking it. No,
But
I
it's
don't.
remediated by the test kit.
That's true.
Of course there could be lead on stuff, but most of the time, if most of the time you're going to get lead poisoning, it would be
I am actually seeing just a hint of green
On
here.
the back edge. Is it the light or is it the lead?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Let me see.
No, there's
Never
lead
mind.
for
Show
sure
the
there.
Maybe I got to put more on here.
I'm gonna take
Show
a
the-
photo
show
of
the
this.
camera.
Hang on.
Do we have any more of these test kits?
It's very faint,
Oh yeah,
but
that's
you can
lead.
see. Oh boy.
Oh no. Oh yeah, get that away from me.
Are you getting exposed from that? You know what I mean? Are you going to eat that? If you eat
Yeah,
that
so
clock, you got
that's-
other problems.
Yeah, I mean
That's a
this,
great question.
This sort of sits on a shelf, and we never touch it, or I never even wind.
Does
this
Obi
thing.
lick it?
No, Obi doesn't. Lick
What
it.
would need to happen for that to be a danger to somebody? Would they need to be near it? Would they need to lick it? What actually needs to
Something
happen?
that's not going to happen, realistically speaking. I don't
You have
know.
to
How is that
ingest the
clock going
clock.
to? You smash it up into a million pieces and sniff the dust? It's not happening. You're
yeah,
not going to
Shane
eat
do
all
be
food
doing
off it.
crazy stuff, but not that.
Maybe let's say you tinker with it, you take it all apart, and then your kid ingests one of the springs and that has lead on it.
Yikes.
It would take a really a Final Destination series of unlikely events to
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
It's good to know
butterfly
though.
effect, or whatever it is.
But yeah, so even now we're just kind of in real time experiencing what this test does, which is you freak out for a half a second. You go, oh, okay, I know it's on there. And then you go, well, I guess what's the reality of the danger of that?
Shane, did you know you had a cuckoo clock on your hands?
Hey.
All right, so we now have our clown plate. This is where the danger would be. There's a lot of plates and you're eating off of it.
Don't want to eat off of anything that glows. That's for certain.
Yeah, unless you're at Mars 2112.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Highly
Shane, let's see
specific.
this.
Swing and a
Let's
miss.
see this plate.
Important caveat.
Yeah.
Okay, this plate is from 1982.
Did you spray it already?
No, I did not.
All right.
Stephen, why don't you
You gotta
spray?
I'll
wait.
do
Can
the
you,
honors.
can you spray it while the light is on there? That's what I like.
Oh,
to see.
that'd be interesting.
Okay.
Illuminate it, and then you
Oh,
see
yeah,
it
okay.
transform.
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
would watch my videos if I was like, wait, let me spray this, and I shine the light.
You can get a little closer,
All right.
Stephen.
Is the light on there?
It is. Yeah, it's a black light, so it.
Wait.
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, I can't see. Okay. All right, ready?
Yeah. Oh!
Is it bad? I can't see.
Oh yeah.
Oh my, that is like a 100%.
It's brighter than my
Yes.
matcha in the morning.
Holy shit. We touched those and I definitely ate lunch after.
Oh my god.
For sure.
Oh my god.
Oh no, you didn't eat off of the
we
plate.
didn't eat
though.
off the
No, we
plate.
didn't eat off the
but
plate.
we definitely touched these plates and then went to go get lunch after we recorded. And I don't think any of us washed our hands. So is that
You're 100 times less. You could have gotten a tiny amount, but
Like dog level
you can handle
IQ.
tiny. I don't know.
This is
Wow, that
This
thing
is
really
bright.
is impressive looking.
this is really bright. This plate is
so much lead.
radioactive.
Jesus
I
Christ.
just knew it. I just knew it in my heart when I was looking at that plate.
fucking Trojan horse ass plate.
But
dude.
you know what? This is a good point because I knew that had lead, and my whole even thought about why that had lead was because I follow Eric,
There
and
it
I had
is.
seen the videos, and I was
Awareness
like,
helps.
That looks a lot like something that would have lead on it.
Oh
So-
wait,
Probably responsible for a lot of dishes being thrown away.
Steven,
that's
can you
great.
can you grab the red phone
Oh no,
from up there? Because is that the real Ghost Files phone or is
that's
that
not. You want the real one? It's right outside.
Oh yes.
Okay, all right.
Modern plastic's never going to have lead on it.
Well, this would consume my mind if I had this at the house. I would spray everything.
Well, this is why you three are so perfect for this because Steven's got a kid on the way. You're anxious as
Yeah.
all get out,
And I
then-
buy a lot of
and you
Soviet
buy a lot of old
clocks.
shit, yeah. Truly. All right, so let's test that one out. I think we're safe to assume that all the other plates, the clown plates, have.
No, this thing is good.
So obviously following Eric, everything led for more information. Getting this outside of like a big expensive, what is it, XRF gun? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, I mean those are like $50,000.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
gotta-
So you think we're getting
For any expecting parents or parents, now, anything that you haven't mentioned yet that we should be doing when we get home?
Yeah, I mean, your standard baby proofing can include like lead safety by just testing all the stuff. That's a great point. I mean, like old wires could contain lead. If you have a gun, do not clean it in a place that you're not taking extra care, that you're not contaminating the area. Don't sand vintage furniture in your garage without testing it first.
Like you said, like window panes that maybe have old paint on them. Check those. Anything that has like moving.
Yeah. If you have windows that actually have single pane windows, those probably have lead on them. And moving the window is going to generate more lead dust.
Wow.
Damn.
All right,
I'm going to come out with like
No fresh air for my baby.
This has been a horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
revelation.
we're kind of devolving into what about this?
I know.
Yeah.
This?
Yeah. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of
Anxiety.
questions.
It's everywhere.
It's a scary
kind of
time.
it's kind of the point.
It kind of is, but like in many cases, it doesn't matter. Like, you really, if you never have kids and you have only paddles with lead on them, like, are you really getting exposed to them if you got tape over them? No, like practically, I got lead everywhere. I don't have lead poisoning,
Right.
Because I'm not, I live near a road. I'm not getting hit by a car because I see the danger.
Right.
Right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's
Yeah.
a good way to end this. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, it really is just kind of let's do the work before our kids get lead poison,
Right.
and then have to
Try
figure
to-
out.
That makes sense, right? That's every group that shows up to your house, like when your kid has lead poisoning, they call themselves lead poisoning prevention, like
But at
of
that
like
point-
whatever county or state.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you preventing it, or are you like an ambulance? Is the ambulance preventing accidents, or are they just
Right.
showing up when something goes wrong?
Right.
It's like trying to shift the conversation towards that. But this is a new technology, and also I'm like hawking it myself, But I'm trying to do it responsibly and do it for a low cost. I'm like trying to make it all myself so I can save money and then just pass on this cost to consumers. So it's like it's not that big of a deal, Like I don't know. It should be easy to test. Nobody should get lead poisoning. It's
No,
insane.
right.
Yeah.
I think that's the takeaway here.
Yeah.
Hey, we really appreciate you spending time with us today and educating people. If you do want to, again, this is not a promoted thing at all, but you are selling your lead tests over at detectled.com if people want to buy a little kit for themselves.
Where else would you get it from?
Where else would you get it from?
Detectled.com.
Detectled.com.
And there's a lot of
Amazon
info
too.
there.
Oh, and Amazon, sure. But thank you so much for talking with us. It was so nice to meet you and learn all these horrifying things. Obviously, it's a scary thing, but also, like you said, prevention is kind of the key here.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me on. This has been a blast.
Yeah,
More
it's a lot
fun
of
than
fun.
just getting grilled with like lead questions for 2 hours.
I mean, we kind of did that too, but it was fun. It was really fun to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
All
It was a
right.
great time. Thanks a lot.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It's really
That's crazy.
fascinating.
The idea of poisoning my child is extremely scary and
Yeah.
realistically could happen.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I'm throwing these away.
Ryan, as someone, you kept it pretty calm and collected there while we were talking to Eric, but you're a person who is sort of prone to being riddled with anxiety about certain things.
I was already thinking about texting Mari. We got to test some shit for him. Also, my mind was consumed with. Do you think he has a business card that says "lead detective"? Because it would just read lead detective.
Oh, that's funny.
That's fun.
Because even if you put lead
He
detective,
kind of is a lead detective, isn't
because
he?
that's what I'm saying. But
Detect.
if you had a car that said lead detective, it would just look like lead detective, and you'd have to be like, no, that's lead.
funny.
So to make that less confusing, you would actually have to write lead detective.
This is why Ryan was quiet.
I was too busy thinking about the syntax that I was like,
this is the lowest words per minute of Ryan we have of any episode of
it
this
was too
show.
scary, dude.
Yeah, it was horrifying.
It was a lot. It's
I think I just shut down.
I was kind of making a joke earlier about the elderly population sort of having a lack of empathy.
And he was
or
like,
ties to reality, and he was like,
yeah.
nope, it turned them all into monsters. Just really unnerving. Cool. Well, I hope that everybody learned something here today. I'm genuinely, I think that was a great,
Yeah.
And shout out to Matt. Matt, you were the guy, you tracked him down.
That's right.
I mean, this all
'Cause
started.
Matt was worried about the plates.
Yeah.
And Matt was
Yes.
like, I think we should talk to this guy from Everything Lead. You've been following him for a minute, right?
I'm a big fan. I think what I really like is because I'm like Ryan, very anxious about a lot of things, and so
No.
but having someone who makes that kind of looking for that fun and talking about it kind of fun, I was like, oh, this seems like the perfect,
Yeah.
And now we
Nice.
know. And I was exactly right. And I was exactly right because I follow Eric Everything Lead.
Yeah.
I knew those plates had fucking lead on them.
Hey, shout out to Sarah, by the way, because Sarah wanted to prank Ryan.
Yeah.
Which led to you bringing up the clown plates.
true.
Which then led to us buying the clown plates.
And now we've put out this wonderful PSA about
It saved
lead
lives.
prevention.
That prank literally saved
lead
lives.
awareness. Maybe we have. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you so much to everyone for joining us for that conversation. I know it was a kind of a fun new angle for Get Scared, but I think a good one.
No, I'd actually like to explore more topics
That's
like
really
this
fun.
that
Yeah,
are
more
like
guests.
It would be fun to
sinister,
bring on-
silent topics.
I do want to bring on a primatologist to talk about whether a monkey could kill Ryan.
Well,
Or
I'm
maybe
pretty
like
sure.
Oh.
A monkey could
or
kill
a
me.
bear expert.
Can we bring
who could
on
kill-
like a screen time expert? Because I like see these things about kids
brain rot?
don't have screens with your baby until they're like 2 or 5 or 7, and like all of these people who actually run these social media companies don't let their kids have social media. So I don't know, I think social media and screens are like the lead of today.
That's a very. I think you might be onto something there, brother.
Yeah, and truly, if you liked kind of a science or informational angle on what we did today, let us know.
Yeah, let us know
let
some
us-
other topics.
Right. Yeah. We love talking to experts about things like this because I think fear, the greatest thing to combat fear with is knowledge. It's
Oh,
education.
yeah.
That's the thing. You got to know your enemy when it comes to things like this. So
And
this was-
Zofran.
So yeah, chime off in the comments if there's any subjects that you think would be interesting to explore with an expert if we can find one. But that's going to do it for this week's episode. Hey, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, do so.
What are you doing?
If you'd like to listen to these episodes ad-free and see all of the Watcher content a month early, you can head over to Watcher TV, the app where we do post these episodes ad-free simultaneously. If you haven't rated the show on your podcast app of choice, do so. We love it. And that should do it. We'll see you next time on Get Scared.
Bye-bye.